It's a high spirit wind lawyer of the GMS Mississippi camp, giving all honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashim Outside, Bahashim Hakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Alright, today I want to go into a topic. Entitled "A Nigga is the New Slave," or YN. A YN is a new slave. Keisha and Trevante are the new slaves. You know, but whichever one in the spirit. Most likely, I'm not going to actually give this lesson the actual title when it's uploaded. Okay, maybe the spirit will allow me, maybe not. But nonetheless, I was meditating on this morning. Scientific racism. I believe the brother was going into the video yesterday. Scientific racism, man. Now, what's scientific racism? This shit goes back to slavery, when Esau had his little pseudoscience, his fake science, all right, that forged a lie that said that the Negro's brain is inferior. The part of the Negro's brain that's built for certitude is bigger, is more docile, things of that nature. Scientific racism. I believe the brother Yash Mouth was going to tell yesterday, right? All right, and basically, Jake is basically good for basically reproducing new slaves. You get the brute nigga, the built nigga, the buff nigga, all right, the stud, and you get Keisha with her Serena Williams genes, all right, and you breed her. So I think a billionaire was gonna pay, I think was it LeBron to breed with Serena Williams, all right. So rewind 200 years, we had the Jake with the dominant genes reproducing with Eve with her dominant genes, man. And if you look at the environment we live in today, all right, the hood, you go to the hood, or basically the nigga headquarters, it's slave headquarters. It's the same shit. They're reproducing or breeding off of the most primitive value system. He look good, she thick. The baby doesn't grow up in the structure. Just like on the breeder farms, you don't actually get to raise your kids, all right? Raise your little ones on a breeder farm. A lot of times the nigga not there in the life of the child, man, because it's just nigga headquarters. And if you look at a YN, the archetypes of YNs, the archetypes of 2/3, none of them are intellectual. The archetypes of Jake, none of them are intellectual, man. And if he's intellectual, he just classified as a nerd, all right? But Esau doesn't classify him. You never really hear Esau classify himself in a nerd in an intellectual sense, man. Because he used that intellectual shit, the tower over you as a species, man. You see? So, of course, you got Jake never evolved from slavery. I remember in school, Jake used to play dumb or dumb himself down because he didn't want to come off as nerdy. Like, bro, you just put the yoke back on your neck, man. You know? The yoke of stupidity, the yoke of being perceived as intellectually inferior, which justifies scientific racism, man, which justifies slavery. Come on, man. These school systems was designed to put Jake in the penitentiary, man. School prison pipeline. All right? It's a lot. And it was a high school about 4 days ago in which there was a shootout at the high school. You know? I don't think anybody got shot. Nonetheless, it was a fucking shootout, man. It is nigga headquarters. Anywhere where Jake is, it's just nigga headquarters, man. All right? The water, brother. All right? It is fucking nigga headquarters, man. All right? But black culture reinforces scientific racism, man. All right? Because a nigga can't pull his pants off his ass. Nigga endorsing violence. And you know what that endorsing violence is? It goes back to that prison industrial complex. So there had to be a product for the prison industrial complex. And the product for the prison industrial complex is a criminal. It's a criminal. And basically we live in a paradigm where all around you is basically saying Jake is a criminal. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. Because a Hispanic is a Native American, you know? A so-called Hispanic. But him being illegal aliens, they being rapists, that's basically criminal propaganda, man. You know? Homegrown, terrorists, you know? But it reinforces scientific racism. It reinforces that the Israelite is a criminal. And if we're inferior, if we're criminals, that's justifying genocide, man. So you push this propaganda that people aren't people. Yep. When you push this propaganda that particular people aren't a people, nobody feels like helping them when they get unalived in mass numbers. You know, if someone said 50,000 Afghanistanians, 50,000 Afghanistanians put to death, like nobody in America will care. You know, and 50,000 Americans were put to death, especially Edomites. Now we're about to go to war. You see? So it you know, part of that wartime propaganda, that scientific, it's the Hitler philosophy, man. You know? You know, it all starts with the science, man. But Jake caused their own demise. Jake causes their own suffering, man. Because you play into that. Keisha raps those little nigga woman archetypes that she that's pushed, and these are implants. A lot of these females are implants, man. You know, I don't know how true it is, but I think they said Sexy Red was an implant. Now I know it's true, but I just don't know if that particular article was true. You know, but I know she's a fucking implant. I know Glorilla's a fucking implant. You know how I know? Because look at Glorilla's knee. One of her knees, the left or the right one, she got the fucking pyramid and the all-seeing eye on it, man. Who puts that on their fucking body? And look at what she rap about, man. The destruction of her own race, man. Her own nation, man. Come on, man. You know, rapping about, these hoes, come on, man. And all of y'all that's so happy to be feminist, no, there's no nuclear family. There's no nuclear family female rapper that I know about. One little chick made a song. She cooks, she cleans, she shut up, but that ain't going anywhere. You know. You know. So, but the nigga culture, it justifies scientific racism. Yep. Everything and everyone is against Jake. Nigga culture justifies scientific racism, man. Real shit. You see? The food you eat, it kills you, it ruins you. You know? And then after high school, it's really over for Jake, man. After high school, maybe those college campuses, it's really up because half of Jake, they just get destroyed by America. They get destroyed by their diet. They get destroyed by their lifestyle. They get destroyed by their poor decision making. So a lot of Jake, man, by the time they're 40, 30, 40, it's kind of over with, really. I mean, they're still alive, but they're not really living. You know, you can see it on them, you know? Jake still work for scraps, man. You know, 9 to 5 Jakes. If Jake in the streets, you in the streets, well, you most likely not gonna be free. You know? But Eve basically, you know, sold her soul for a degree. She sold out her race, her nation, for a degree. You know? And Jake, man, he's just a damn, He just perceived as being useless in America, man. Although he's the most used. You see? But all those studies is just basically an extension of scientific racism. Studies about, you know, Jake when it comes to math and science and the dropout rate. You know, all that is really just reinforcing scientific racism and implying that we're intellectually inferior, man. You know? And it's all BS, man. You know? Jake is Jake, the Israelite man. He's the closest to the Most High on the planet Earth. All right? He's the embodiment of the Most High on the planet Earth, especially that Negro. Adam was basically an image of the Most High on the planet Earth, man. I mean, he was Yahushua, right? But Yahushua tells you in Colossians that Yahushua is the express image of Yahweh. So if Yahushua is the express image of Yahweh, and he came down in his first in the prototype of Adam, all right? And Adam had a lineage. We're of that lineage. The lineage of Adam, all right, was the progenitor, all right, of the Israelites. So the Israelite man ultimately is an express image of Yahweh Bahashmal Shai. In school, when it comes to the so-called Negro, Hispanic, it's a prison for the Israelite mind, man. Your mind is like a universe within itself. How do I know? Because I'm an Israelite. You know? And I knew how I felt in those schools, man. They dumbed down science. And I used to be a little, when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, man, I was a Jake that loved science, man. Just the science in school was bullshit. But someone gave me like an encyclopedia, all right, on a disc. So it was like an encyclopedia that you could put that was on a disc that you could put in the computer. I used to have a little mini microscope. I used to love science, man, but just not that bullshit in school. You know? Because that bullshit in school wasn't the thing that stimulated me or intrigued me. It was dumped down, man. You know? I was sharp in math, man. I was sharp in math. But until they put the numbers with the letters, but that could be taught. You could learn that. I never did my homework, man. You know? But the way the Esau teaches you shit is boring as fuck. The Esau knows how the male mind work, and it's adventurous, man. And they say you're not supposed to disconnect education with the adventure when it comes to a man, when it comes to a male child. You know? That damn algebra, yeah, it was all good, brother. So they mixed the numbers with the letters and snapped it in between some parentheses. Like, what the hell? You know? You know, but hey, Jay came up with algebra. Algebra is a Moorish term. You know? How you hear words like algebras and Al Jazeera? Yeah, that's more like a Islamic term when Jake was under Islam, doing a Moorish empire, man. So we came up with that. But just imagine an Edomite trying to teach you something, man. All right? But, you know, but like I said, Jake allegedly having poor results academically, it really reinforces scientific racism. And Edomites love that shit. Edomites love hearing shit like that. You know, what you'll find out with them Edomites, man, they give each other the answers. Those, like if it's an Edomite school, they prep those kids for those tests. A lot of times they give them the answer for those tests. You know, I've been in honors classes with certain Edomites. I'm like, man, this bitch don't belong here, man. Now, granted, I've been in school where the Edomite that was really book smart. But then I've been in school with Edomites that was like, man, this pasty bitch don't belong. And they just put her here in this class just because, man. They put in the so-called smart class just because, man. That's how they put some athletes in the class, these little smart classes, you know. You know, I was lost my train of thought. You know? But the point is, alright, all that school is just here for Esau to tell the world that you're dumb, you know, reinforce scientific racism, create a school to prison pipeline, you know. You can't grow Jacob in a poor environment, a hostile environment, and expect him to thrive. Your spirit, your mind is like a plant. A plant doesn't grow. Most plants don't grow or thrive in a hostile environment. They might even survive in a hostile environment, but they don't really thrive in a hostile environment. You see? But that's pretty much the point, you know. Just Jake's failure is fabricated and is here in part to justify scientific racism, man. Which scientific racism justifies the enslavement of Jake, the genocide of Jake, like abortion. Eve loved that liberal party. She loved that feminist party, but it was rooted in the liberal party with Planned Parenthood was rooted in eugenics. But eugenics is rooted in a belief that you are an inferior race that doesn't need to reproduce. Right? Esau created this environment for Jake to fall, man. But that's pretty much the point, man. Hey, to the next time, shalom. Hey, well, are the wicked watching the righteous and seeking to slay them, you know? And that's how he seeking to slay us, man.